the Artie Lange Show. Josh McDermitt's here from The Walking Dead.
Hi.
So you were doing radio.
Yeah.
And so you said you got an interesting story about how you got into radio in Phoenix. You said we met, actually. We met back when I used to play that improv in Tempe.
The Tempe
all the
Improv.
time. I shot a special there, actually.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I was producing the show there, and I produced it for 14 years, and then, the comics would come on and promote their show. Dan Murr would bring them in. Yeah, so I met you, one or two times. But no, when I got into radio, I was 14 years old, and I would listen to this radio show.
14?
I was 14, and this was back in the early 90s, like back when that song Achy Breaky Heart was a big hit.
Of course.
This was country music, right?
Wonderful time for music.
So I was like waiting, bored waiting for the school bus, and I started calling up the radio show because I listened to them. I didn't care about the country music, but I really liked the shows. Like if, Letterman had his own radio show. It was just fun.
Right.
And so I would call up, and I would just do a stupid voice, and I said, hey, could you play Achy Breaky Heart for me? And they're like, yeah, man, what's your name? And I'm like, my name is Kako. And it was just like, and this is like pre-internet. I said I was born
You sound Persian.
I know. Well, I said I was Filipino. I told him, I said that I was born in England, but my father was in the Royal Air Force, and I moved to the Philippines when I was 2.
That's an upbringing.
Yeah, and this is all just like off the top of my head, and I just said it, and they're like, "Oh, so this isn't a fake accent?" And I just stuck to my guns.
You got to commit in radio.
Yeah, so they're like,
commit.
Yeah, they're like, what are you doing today? And I told them, oh, I might go look for a job and this and that. So like, great. So they're like, hey, call us anytime you want, and I called them back every day. And I just bugged the crap out of them. And it became this big bit about how Kako can't find a job, when really I'm going to like math class or whatever because I was in high school. And so...
hey, Kako, you're back out of the air with Steve the Batman.
Thank you. Do you have a job for me yet?
No job for you, Kako, but when Achy Breaky Heart's coming your way.
All right.
You're the 15th caller. Guess what?
So I was
Billy Ray Cyrus with his little daughter Miley. She's 6 years old. She wants to get in the business. You've won a chance to meet him. Come on down to the station, KLPSN.
This is great.
So I started calling up as a guy named Josh, and I'd be like, hey, can you play the phone call from Kako for yesterday? And they're like, oh, you like that guy? I'm like, I'm his biggest fan, man. And I had like 10 different characters I was doing on the show, and it was just all out of boredom.
Kako, if you're listening, Josh, your biggest fans out there. Steve the Batman are here. Come on back.
So they asked me, they said, hey, Kako, you should come hang out at the radio station. And I was like, okay. So I roll down there.
Kako, do you have office detention today? If you don't, come on down.
I told him I was 26 years old, not 14.
Could you pass for 26, you think? You look young.
I didn't look 26, but I looked like I could probably be 19, right?
Right.
And I get in there, and instantly they're looking at me. They're like, "You're not Filipino. You're like this big white dude." And I like didn't break character. I stuck to my guns, and I said, "No, I reminded them, no, my father was in the Royal Air Force. I was born in England."
My bad, Kako. My bad. Sorry about that.
So they're like, okay, cool, yeah, and they believed it, man. And I just became this big, character on their show.
Well, that's great.
And they're calling up, and people are going, hey, Kako can't find a job. He can come work for me in my landscape company. And then, and of course, I wouldn't show up. They call it the next day. They're like, he's a lazy bum, and it's like this.
Kako, it's a lighthearted show, but I got 2 words for your work ethic, buddy. That's what got me where I am. Come on, get into this, Kako. Listen, I know I might have insulted you with the Filipino thing, but let's get to work.
I mean, I'm playing the hits over here. Working my butt off.
How do you think Billy Ray Cyrus got to where he is? By not showing up? Come on.
So off the air, eventually they just said, they said, Kako, you should just work down here. You can't find a job. You're hanging out down here all the time anyway. And that's when I got scared, and I broke the character. This went on for like 8 months, and I was like, this is my real voice.
It's like Tootsie.
Yeah, a
at
little
the end
bit.
When he says he's a guy.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, by the way, I'm also this guy. Then I named off all the people, and they're like, dude, you're half the people that ever call this show.
You're kidding me.
You have to work here.
You're half of the people who gave tickets to the Jingle Ball. No one's going to be in the first 2 rows of the Jingle Ball. They're all you.
It's just me spreading out. Yeah, I feel good.
Come on. Adam Levine was going to come meet you and give you his favorite acne medicine story.
So, yeah,
Wait,
man.
you're Kako, you're Josh, you're Jason, you're Edward, you're Delanto. Those guys are all coming to the Jingle Ball. By the way, Saturday at the Jingle Ball.
So that's how I started working in radio. I worked there for 14 years.
What a great story. That's awesome.
It was fun. I got to meet a lot of great people. And
when you revealed that, what was the reaction initially? I mean,
they couldn't believe it. They were like, their jaws literally dropped. And
But they weren't mad at you. They thought it
no,
was
they
funny.
were like, they thought it was the best thing. That
Yeah,
for
they-
8 months I'd been like BSing them to their face.
God, my face is red. I don't know how you feel, man, but my face is red.
But I got an egg on my face.
You could make a 3-egg omelet on my face, a little cheese and some peppers. What about you, man?
Here's a new one from George Strait. Yeah, those guys, man. Those dudes talk like that. Like those
I
guys, like
know.
off the air, they
I
talk
know,
normal and everything.
yeah.
You're like, hold on, I just got to do this. Hey, that's the... And you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, some of the real sad cases, they lapse into where they talk like that in real life, too.
Yeah.
And that's really sad. Like, hey, I want to come out with the business. Want to come to a barbecue or something? I'm having it this Saturday. Are we on the air, Steve? No, as a matter of fact, we're not. Why would you say that? I'm invited. What's so great about me? I mean, this is my on air. I do exciting stuff. This is boring.
Some of those guys, they'll keep like bumper stickers and T-shirts in their car, and they're at the grocery store and they get recognized. They're like, 1 second, and they run out to their car and they're, what's the phrase that pays or whatever. And then they hand them a bumper sticker, like, thanks, thanks for recognizing me while I was buying my mac and cheese.
Hey, don't hate. Play George Strait on the big hill.
I worked with a guy once that and I didn't work with him while he did this, but he worked at like some small station in Tucson or something, and he was on the air, but then he also sold airtime. He was like one of the sales guys.
A lot of guys do that.
Yeah, they have to like double duty, right? And some woman calls up and she's like, I lost my dog. Can you like put an announcement on there? It's my life or whatever. And he's like, he convinces her to buy airtime, right? And it's going to run through the weekend. And
You really want to save your pooch, honey? You'll buy some airtime.
this guy goes home to his his condo or whatever, and he finds her dog. He just happens to find her
You're
dog,
kidding.
and instead of calling her, he kept it through the weekend so the commercials would run.
That's hilarious.
These are the people that radio attracts.
That's a real
man.
radio guy.
Yeah.
That's a real radio guy. Yeah, sorry, still haven't found the kid. Yeah, haven't found the dog yet. That's fine. By the way, what kind of dog food does it like, the dog? Just out of curiosity.
I'm going to go down and pick up a family 4-pack of Alpo.
Alpo, our newest sponsor. That is great. Listen, radio has characters, man. Like I got into radio. I went to the Stern Show, which is like immediately going to the top, where Howard didn't have to deal with any of those guys.
Yeah.
But so I came from television and movies, and those executives can be sleazy enough.
Yeah.
Nothing is like a radio executive. Nothing. They are a special brand of like exactly what you just described.
Yeah, it's crazy because they just deal with the voice all the time. They're not dealing with like any sort of image thing, and they're just like a weird.
Well, there's that great scene in Private Parts with Howard where his boss is trying to teach him how to say WNBC properly.
Yeah.
WNBC. Like, that really happens.
Right.
And
They want to get the right inflection in their voice and all that. And you're just like, what? And these guys are like, they're getting the best of all these different worlds of radio, and they're meeting celebrities who are coming on the show.
Right, exactly.
And they're getting close with them, and then they're doing the music thing. So they're out like in Nashville or LA, like with record executives, and they're just like, they're nuts.
Yeah, and you deal with, if it's a morning guy, nothing's worse than most of the time than having to be a comedian doing morning radio in bum F wherever.
Mm-hmm.
You get up at 6 a.m. because you got to plug the show, and then you got to try to go back to sleep during the day to do the shows.
Right.
And you're dealing with the morning guy, like, trying to do bits for him, like,
Right.
and he's trying to set you up because you told him what to,
Yeah.
I understand you don't have good luck with dogs. Is that true, John? No, wait, that's Eddie. I'm sorry, he's coming in later. I understand you're getting older.
It's funny you bring that up, and then you roll into your bit.
And how do you
It's
deal?
just sad.
How do you deal with getting older? I understand your wife's a bit of a pain. Well, how's that? Bit of a pain in the neck. The wife, right? Is your wife Gladys?
So
No?
unnatural. It's like June, and they're like, "So, you thinking about Christmas gifts for your spouse this year?" And you're like, then you go into your Christmas jokes. It's like, why?
I understand you're anti-Semitic, John. Is that true? Oh no, that's off the air. I'm sorry. It's a weird world. Speaking of a great background too, you grew up. Your family owned a hot air balloon.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a weird.
Your dad bought one, like just to have or something.
Yeah, I think my mom got him like a hot air balloon ride.
I understand he had a hot air balloon.
Yeah, tell me about that. He got like a hot air balloon ride when he was 40, and he was just like, I love this. I'm buying a hot air balloon.
What a great thing to get at 40. Instead of a Corvette with the midlife crisis, he gets a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Are they hard to store?
No, they're so small. They're about the size of this desk.
Yeah, but do you leave them you can't just leave them inflated, right? Like,
No,
you have to,
you pack them down, you put them in a bag, and the bag goes
just
in a
carry them
trailer.
in the garage.
And it's all
It could
kind of
store
compact.
in a garage.
Yeah.
When you blow it up, they don't keep it blown up. I don't think.
well, yeah, I guess not.
You're just driving by. Oh, the McDermitts are storing their balloon again. Like that. Yeah. But no, you store it in your garage and everything, and it costs about the same amount as like a used car. They're fairly cheap.
Well, but that's the thing with hot air balloons. I don't want to pinch pennies. I want to make sure everything's secure.
Yeah, sure.
And how's that rope? I got it cheap. Excuse me? Now, how many people would fit in the thing there?
It's based more on weight, but you can probably get about 4 adults in there.
No
but they
kidding.
have different baskets and different size balloons where you take up like, I know there's some baskets that hold like 25 people.
What a great hidden camera bit. Me and Bichetti will go down and buy a basket and let's see what the salesman says. Like, yeah, we're looking for a basket for a hot air balloon. Me and Mike are like, well, I don't know. I'd go with, how much can you spend? Can you spend quite a bit of money? I'd go with a sturdier one. I'm not just trying to sell you this, but I'd go with...
The funny thing with this hot air balloon, we also did foster care. So we did like emergency care in our family, and they would have, this is sad situations like parents get arrested in the middle of the night. They need to put the kids somewhere they can't locate an aunt or an uncle, right?
So you put them in the hot air balloon.
You put them in the hot air balloon. No, they'd stick them with us, but we would go hot air ballooning in the morning, and I just think about these kids and like what kind of stories they have about the time their parents got thrown in jail.
But what a great
And then they
thing
showed
for
up at some crazy family's house and went hot air ballooning, and they're just, I mean.
But for a kid, that's got to be the greatest thing ever. It's like living a fairy tale. Like they go from this awful house to like being in Oz or Willy Wonka, like a land of imagination. Look at me, I can fly.
I don't know that they thought it was a good thing because I was like a weird little kid where anytime we'd have a kid for like 4 hours, but to me he was my brother.
Right, exactly.
But, hey, brother! I'm like right in his face. He's like, oh my God, what the hell
brother.
is going on? Let's go play in the balloon.
My last brother hit me with an axe handle.
Did you have to get like a pilot ballooning license?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you need some sort of license. Yeah.
I mean, how much control do you really have over those things?
You have a lot more than you think. I mean, in terms of direction that you want to go, I mean, you just change your altitude to go, if you want to go west, you go, okay, well, I know at this altitude, the wind's blowing west, so I'll just go up there. Or if
how do
you want to know
that?
You send up a test balloon.
Yeah. It sounds like a complicated afternoon.
It's actually, it's actually quite simple. You just blow up a helium balloon and you just send it off and you just see which direction you're headed.
You put one of the foster kids in the thing and see what happens.
Yeah, you're like, hang on. And then
Stop your whining, Timmy. Just let me know which way the wind's blowing.
Points, damn it, points. But you'd have a chase vehicle that would follow you around too, and so then you're communicating through walkie-talkie, saying, "Hey, there's a field over here about a mile in front of you. I'm going to try and put it down there," and you just,
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
it sounds like a great time, actually.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Like city folk, I guess it seems kind of scary, but. No, but I would love to do that. It's something I've never done, but I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Yeah. You should do it.
Yeah, like a big lark balloon. Now, how often do you change the balloon? I mean, you have to check it for holes.
You got to do like an annual checkup, and then
just annual.
Yeah,
not even twice a year.
Well, I mean, the pilot is supposed to take care, make sure that do an inspection every time before he flies. But like you take it into the FAA or it gets FAA certified that you can continue to fly. Right. And then every 2 years, you have to do a check flight with a FAA instructor to make sure that you still know what you're doing.
But Shetty, if you lost enough weight in your gut and your bottom, your head could act, I think, as a balloon.
Oh yeah.
Josh, I think his head's going to get smaller.
Tie rope
can you broker it still for me?
I think his head.
Yeah, man.
His
you
head
can
will
sell
get smaller.
advertising on your goiter chin.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Did you know Mike had a goiter when you were on the boat with him?
That's disgusting.
Well, listen, that's just the tip of the disgusting iceberg, my friend.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Well, Josh, listen, thanks. Come by anytime, brother. You're great.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
We really enjoyed having you. You're on The Walking Dead, a little show called The Walking Dead. The finale is Sunday, and look for Josh doing stand-up wherever. How do we find you on Twitter and all that stuff?
I'm at Josh McDermitt.
At Josh McDermitt. Is it spelled this the right way?
McDermitt.
Okay, a little bit of a different spelling. Josh, great job, man, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. It was nice to meet you.
Good luck with everything. I want to say this. Talk about get ready for going back to radio. DraftKings, that's right. Fantasy baseball's back, and our listeners are winning huge money at DraftKings.com. Are you there, Kako? Kako, you there?
Yes, okay. DraftKings.
Kako, America's favorite one-day fantasy sports site. You love it, right? Don't you, Kako?
Yes, I love it so much.
That's a Filipino kid, Kako. Opening this Monday, and DraftKings, it's opening day is this Monday. And DraftKings is celebrating by awarding $500,000 in cash prizes. You've got to check out DraftKings.com. Josh, you're going to be there?
Yeah, of course, I'm going to be there, and Kako will be there.
Yes, I'll be there.
You and Kako, good friends. Already a guy named James Tron, who might be the same guy as Kako, who knows, won $1 million at DraftKings in one day. Imagine using cash like that every time you watch the game. DraftKings is one-day fantasy sports. That means no season-long commitments, no being stuck with players, just instant cash, instant gratification. Kako, do you like instant gratification?
I love it. It's the best.
It is the best, Kako. Thank you so much. It's easy. Pick a team in minutes and get your share of $200 million. DraftKings is awarding the share. Right now, you can play for free to win real cash at DraftKings.com. Enter Artie, A-R-T-I-E, at DraftKings.com. And get free entry in their opening day $500,000 contest. Hurry, free spots are going quick. Enter Artie, A-R-T-I-E, now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. Where, Kako?
DraftKings.com.
Thank you so much, buddy. We're back with Josh and Kako and all the gang after this.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.